प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावः गोप्तोक्ता गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्ससुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पल शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनीं सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तक केशवः पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटम् नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितम् लोके सज्जन षट्पतैरहरहः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयाद्भारतपङ्कजं कलिमलप्रध्वंसिनः श्रेयसे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः। ओम श्री कृष्ण परमात्मने नमः। अथ पंचमोऽध्यायः। We have completed the study of chapter 5. Chapter 5 is called Karma Sannyasa Yoga. Not freedom from action, freedom despite action. Not freedom from doing the action, but freedom from the agency, the sense of arrogation that I am doing this action. That is the main subject matter of chapter 5 of the Bhagavad Gita, and it is called Karma Sannyasa Yoga Nama Panchamodhyaya. We shall see the summary of the chapter today before we go to the next chapter in called Dhyana Yoga, chapter 6. In chapter 1, Arjuna had this confusion. Initially, he was reluctant to wage a war, and then he gave a lot of reasons, attributed a lot of reasons for not waging the war. And Krishna, the teacher, told him, that is unbecoming of a Kshatriya. You are a warrior, highly skilled warrior. Your people are dependent on you for giving them justice. You can't run away from this war. You have to fight it. He gave so many excuses. Krishna won't accept any of them. He said, no, it's your duty and you have to fight. In chapter 2, Arjuna came to a very important question. That was a moment of reckoning, if you can call it that. He asked a question. If I win this war, even if I win all the three worlds, Bhuloka, Indraloka, and Patala Loka, even if all three lokas I win over and I become the overlord of all three lokas, I will continue to be a wanting person, a person with a deep sense of inner lack. How do I get over it? It is not karma sammoda, it is dharma sammoda. What is to be done is fine. But is it what is to be done? I want to be a happy person, a pleased person. And by killing, I don't think I can ever be pleased. By killing that to the own relatives, killing a person who loves so much, I'm sure I can't be a very happy person there. And at that point of time, Krishna unfolded the nature of reality to Arjuna. He said there are two clear realities. One is the absolute reality. The other is the transactional reality. You have mixed up these both. You have taken the transactional reality to be the absolute reality and you are suffering. You have to learn to distance the transactional reality by seating yourself on absolute reality. You are not what you think you are. You have taken yourself to be a small individual stuck in a certain situation, forced to do things against your will, forced to do things which will give you a lot of unpleasantness and sadness. You have to understand that you are not that individual. You are aware of the individual status. Therefore, as a knower, you must be different from the individual status. And what is the nature of the knower? The nature of the knower was revealed as a cosmic, conscious, awareful being whose mere presence enlivens the entire world of transactional reality. The entire world of transactional reality is a mixture of the conscious being and the reflected consciousness. And the entire transactional reality functions in your presence, including your individuality, your body, mind, sense complex. You are distinct and different from them. That is your Swarupa. Arjun obviously could not, it made sense to him, but he couldn't really assimilate it properly. There were a lot of questions. Yes, how does this person, who is a wise person, who is a person who is awareful being, who is this, what do you call, conscious being, what is his nature, what happens? Krishna explained in detail the nature of transactional reality. In the world of transactional reality, things will come, things will go. Okay? And you are endowed with a sense of sense, or with a set of sense organs which when come in contact with the world, Matra, Sparsha, Kaunteya, Shita, Ushna, Sukha, Dukkhada, they'll produce pairs of opposites. Learn how to deal with them. Be alive to the transactional reality. Seat yourself in absolute reality and move on. Arjun obviously found it difficult. He said, you're praising Atma, the non-doer, the Atma, cosmic personality, yet you're telling me go and fight. So Krishna says, you are the cosmic being, the consciousness reflected through the body, mind, sense complex. And this mixture, okay, cannot but do action. Nahi kaschit shanamapi jatu tishtati akarma krite. You can't even for a moment remain without action. Even the act of blinking, unblinking is action. Breathing in, breathing, exhaling is action. The process of digestion is involuntary action. So you can't remain without action for even a moment. You cannot avoid action. You have to learn to distance yourself from the role and the role player. Look at the whole thing as you are a conscious being playing a lot of roles. The roles will have script. The script will call for decisions to be taken. There will be outcomes, pleasant, unpleasant, neutral. You can't run away from the outcomes. You can't avoid actions. Avoiding an action will give you an outcome. You can't run away from that. You have to act intelligently. And the actions that you do should be done with such an attitude that you are aham, that you are free is a matter of knowledge, that you are free from the pressures of the role is a matter of knowledge, That you are a role player and are not the role is a matter of knowledge. It's not an event or an experience. You have to know. And knowing takes place in the buddhi. Therefore, your action should be in such a way that it gives you jnana yogyata prapti, makes this instrument fit for knowledge. You grow to a certain level of maturity to be able to appreciate this knowledge. Not only appreciate, assimilate, own up, and live that life. That is preparatory sadhana. That's how you have to live your life. And that was called karma yoga was introduced. Then knowledge was also introduced, reinforced. Krishna, having done so much work, Arjun continues to have the doubt. Because at this point of time, he was a motivated listener. Not motivated means I have motivation to do. Motivation to get out of action. Yeah, I don't want to get into this chakkar of killing relatives and things like that. Can I find a justification and not do this? So it's called, motivated listening. There are a lot of people, when you ask them questions, they don't listen to you. They are figuring out how they can answer you. So Krishna Arjuna had this problem. He was not listening. He was saying, how can I convince Krishna that what you say doesn't make sense to me? He can't openly say. It's all okay, but doesn't apply to me. He wanted to say that. And that's called motivated listening. Listening not with motivation, with a motivated not to do the action. So he raises a fresh set of questions. He said, you have praised Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. And at one point of time, you're talking about Karma Sannyasa. Karma Sannyasa means not doing action. And you're also talking about Karma Anushtana, doing action. He said, how can one do both? How can one take Karma Sannyasa, avoid action, at the same time do action? Hey, what are you telling me? And from this question, Krishna understood three basic doubts of Arjuna. One is called Ashrama Dharma. The other is called Sadhana, what sadhana is to be done. And the third one is about Sannyasa and what is it? Three important areas Krishna could make out that this was the doubt. Ashrama, then sannyasa, sadhana. These were the three doubts. So Krishna answers them. He says there are 4 stages. Brahmacharya ashrama, grahastha ashrama, vanaprastha ashrama, sannyasa ashrama. The vanaprastha ashrama is optional. Brahmacharya ashrama is compulsory. Brahmacharya ashrama prepares you for what? For the knowledge Aham Brahmasmi. It gives you predominantly Shravana Manana at that stage. The Grahastha or the Sannyasa Ashrama places where you reinforce the Shravana Manana. Students, first 24 years, student stage. Thereafter, you have to assimilate and live that life. The teacher says, there is a Grahastha Ashrama. From Sannyasa Ashrama, you can move to Grahastha Ashrama. You need not move to Sannyasa Ashrama. In the Grahastha Ashrama itself, you can get Mukti, Moksha. What is this Moksha? Moksha is clear knowledge that there is a distance between the role player and the role. The problems of the role cannot touch the role player, and I am the role player. And my nature is that of pure consciousness And all the forms and things like the forms, possessions, positions, labels belong to the role. I enliven them by my mere presence. They are dependent upon me. I am not dependent upon them for my existence. I am, period. And if nothing other than me exists in reality. We have to understand here that the teacher does not dismiss existence. The existence of this is not dismissed. This is a blur. Yeah. The existence of this drinking glass is not dismissed. The permanent reality of this glass is this. And I said, this is a glass. Which is a glass? Inside. Suppose there was a hole. There was a tumbler with a hole. It doesn't serve the purpose of the tumbler. There is a name, there is a form, there is a function. He says, name, form, and function are called mithya jagat rupam, that which does not have an independent existence of its own. There is a content which is satyam, consciousness, and you are that consciousness. It takes for understanding this, you need a preparation. How do you need preparation? To know absolutely that the world does not give you permanent peace, security, and happiness. You have to understand relative reality. Relatively, you have to say that everything we all know by common sense. We all know by common sense that all the objects we have some kind of a diminishing value. What was so valuable to me about a year and a half ago is not that much valuable. The house that I bought and built is no longer valuable when I find I'm ailing and then nobody stays with me. As I give it all up, I can go live in a small place where at least there are people close to me who can at least listen to me when I call out. All this wealth is of no use when they cannot pay for my treatment. So everything has a relative use. It is not useless. This has to be known. So for knowing it, you have to have a lifestyle conducive for assimilating this knowledge. So there is a grihastha ashrama in which you pursue material benefits, material well-being. While pursuing it, you understand that material well-being is not the ultimate end. Freedom from wanting that material thing is the ultimate end. Freedom from a feeling that the material will give me well-being. That's why it's called material well-being. The material will give me well-being. Freedom from this false conclusion is moksha, freedom. And that it is a matter of knowledge. And in and through the grihastha ashrama, facing the challenges, facing the knocks of life, I develop viveka, vairagya. Viveka is knowledge of reality. Vairagya is moving towards what is good for me, moving away from what is not good for me. Viveka, vairagya. And I act. I have to necessarily act. There is no escape from action. Therefore, I act in the spirit of karma yoga. Karma is done with an attitude of yoga. What is this karma yoga attitude? Ishvara arpana buddhi. All my actions are offered unto Ishvara. And all the results that come are coming from Ishvara. Ishvara arpana buddhi Ishvara Prasada Buddhi. Ishvara Arpana Buddhi and Ishvara Prasada Buddhi will work only if you have bhakti. If you think Ishvara is, you're not convinced about Ishvara, Arpana Buddhi won't work, let alone Prasada Buddhi. So you live a lifestyle where there is a religious lifestyle which gives you bhakti. And in that bhakti, in that devotion and love for an altar of somebody, some kind of a savior, I don't like the word savior, of Ishvara, of the all-powerful Ishvara, the Srishti Karta. In his bhakti, what I do to him is a loved one. I do everything as a seva to him. Whatever comes is a reward that he gives me. Good or bad is a reward that he gives me. A devotion to a certain cause. Here the cause is Ishvara. Unless you have bhakti, it will not work. So in Grahastha itself, it is possible. Then he says, there is another method in which you move away from Grahastha. From Brahmacharya ashrama, you go to a sannyasa ashrama. What is the sannyasa ashrama? Sannyasa ashrama is study, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, exclusive Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, and total Vairagya towards pursuit of material well-being. Total exclusion. Total exclusion. Who decides? Guru decides. We are not capable of deciding whether sannyasa ashrama is suitable to you or grihastha ashrama is suitable to you. We are not in a position to decide. The Guru decides. Guru decides that you can go into, elevate yourself to sannyasa ashrama. So some people say you continue in grihastha ashrama. There is another way. You spend a large number of time, of a length of time, studying and assimilating in the grihastha ashrama. And thereafter, you ritualistically move into sannyasa ashrama. Moving from grihastha ashrama to sannyasa ashrama, option is available. But the option of moving from sannyasa ashrama, reverse option is not available. This aspect is made clear. And the teacher says, if you take up sannyasa ashrama without mentally being prepared for it, dukkhataram. You had a lot of money and you were miserable. So you gave away all your money. So you given away money and continue to be miserable. Dukkhataram. Only the teacher decides. So he says, you don't have an option of karma yoga or jnana yoga. You have to do karma yoga and grow into jnana. There's no option there. So whether it is sannyasa lifestyle or grihastha lifestyle, you necessarily have to follow karma yoga so that you can be eligible for jnana. That is explained. Then comes a sadhana dvayam. Two sadhanas. What is the sadhana? Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. That is a sadhana. There is no other sadhana. Yes. For you to do, able to do Shravana, Manana properly, you can't straight away do Shravana, Manana. You know, very often my Swamijis used to tell when I used to attend his classes very regularly. So at the end of we used to organize those 10 days yagya, public talks for 10 days, morning, evening, take off from work and be with Swamiji round the clock, set up the bookstall and sell souvenirs and books and collect funds, get Swamiji, speak to people and give more people opportunities to hear Swamiji. So it was karma yoga. You did, give up work, you give up family, and for 10 days you were virtually with Swamiji, arranging his food, arranging his transport. It was great work. At the end of 10 days, Swamiji will give us he'll give us some books personally signed by him. So this is for you, study. And he will add something. He will say, it doesn't matter if you do this, but you must do something. What is it, Swamiji? He said you have to enroll in a class and study. Many of my students are teaching around this country or even outside. Find out, enroll, and join a class. First, you have done a lot of seva. So the preparation, your samskara and your preparation has led me to this, has led you to this. So you have to follow a disciplined lifestyle. So unless you have bhakti, unless you do upasana, you can't possibly come to Shravana Manana. You will be a dry Vedanta. You will be fit for giving talks in those weekly meetings and things like that. But it won't make a difference to your life nor to any other person's life. You will give a talk, you will get a lot of applause, maybe some mementos that you can carry home. Beyond that, nothing. It doesn't make an iota of difference to you or to others. At the first sign of trouble, you will be shaken. So if you want that, teacher says, you have to, favorite words, consistently, regularly, and systematically study under a competent teacher for a length of time. This is the sadhana. Whether you are a grahastha or whether you are a sannyasi, this is the sadhana. This sadhana is called Shravana Manana Nididhyasana. There is no choice. Whether you are here or whether you are there. In the grahasthashrama, you do Shravana Manana Nididhyasana in and through all your function. In and through all your duties. And the duties are something which have come to you from what we call prarabdha karma. You have been blessed with a body, mind, sense complex. You are born into a family. In the family, you are born into a particular role. There are families in which some children are employed, settled down abroad. They don't have time to look after. It's not that they don't want to, we have to be very clear. It's not that they don't want to look after, but the nature of their roles have taken them away, either to another country or to another part of the country or some other service where they are full-time dedicated to doing. That means they are not avoiding responsibility. But the nature of the role is such, in which case, what should they do? If they are the sole only child of the parents, they have to make arrangements. If they are among other siblings, they should have a nice talk among themselves. One sibling should possibly say, look, I'll take care of these things. You physically take care. It's a role. You have to play this role properly. You can't run away from them. You can't say, I'm defending the country. I have got no time for all this. You have to find time for this. And you will find time for this only if you have a reverential attitude towards karma. That's why it becomes karma yoga. And what is the reverential attitude you have? There are 5. The karma is divided into 5 major divisions, and each of them is called a yajna. Yajna is a contribution. Yajna, how do you do yajna? You invoke the fire and you offer oblations into the fire. It's a contribution. You offer it with a lot of bhakti. You offer high quality stuff. So your actions become yajna. And what are there? 5 major divisions. Bhuta yajna, environmental infrastructure. Pitra yajna, family infrastructure. Manushya yajna, social infrastructure. Rishi yajna, scholarship and erudition. well-being, of wisdom and education, then Deva Yajna, the cultural and religious practices of a particular community and ethnicity and things like that. These 5 actions are to be done with the spirit of Yajna. When you do it with the spirit of Yajna, when you do what is proper, you become free from conflicts. This is called doing Artha Kama in alignment with Dharma. That's why we do this. Artha Kama is done in alignment with Dharma. It blesses you. It frees you from conflicts. It does not load the system with regrets and guilt and hurt and anxiety. And whatever comes, you take it as an Ishvara Prasada Buddhi. Somebody says, are you not a boring person? I said, is being a refined person a boring person? You are a refined, self-disciplined person. Your mere presence can give a lot of joy to a lot of people around. Just mere presence. You don't have to do anything. Imagine there is a person at home, happy, joyful. When you come in, he smiles at you, wishes you well. When you're talking about your glory, he says, oh, I'm so happy for you. When you're talking about misfortune or something, he doesn't say, he says, okay, how can I help you? How can I help you? Can I help you? I can pray for you. I can possibly give you a word of advice in case you care to listen to me. Or I can tell you some nice stories. Or elderly people say, Tamil they say, it will all become all right. You are a person who can contribute. By you being a pleased person, you can contribute to others being around you being pleased. And Pancha Mahayagya, side by side, you cultivate self-discipline, become a refined person, a calm, dignified, refined person. Just because you're a calm, dignified, refined person, it doesn't mean you will not face difficulties. You will face difficulties. They say, no, there was a fellow who jumped into a lion's cage, tiger's cage. They said, what the hell? He said, no, I am a vegetarian. So just because you're a vegetarian, you think the tiger will not eat you. It doesn't make sense. There's somebody out there who is out to kill you. Oh, I am a calm man. You have to learn to defend yourself. You have to do appropriate action. You don't have to hit him first, but you have to learn to defend. Somebody comes to attack your family, you have to learn to defend. So, actions have to be aligned to dharma, to do what is proper in keeping with the role. And what were the roles? You had Arjuna playing the role of a Kshatriya, a person who is a warrior, a skilled person who has to run the administration of the state, who has to take up the care of the well-being of people. He has to wage war. You can't avoid it. You can't be in the army and say, I'm ahimsa. And having joined the army, you can't quit with before your commission is complete saying, I am an ahimsa. If you're in the army, you have to fight. At best, if you can tell people that, look, don't give me those front duties. Make me a kitchen or some. They assign roles accordingly. They don't make everybody fight at the front. And nobody has fought. So people who have joined after the 71, very long time, they retired during peace times. It is not that everybody has to go to war. So once in a while, this war comes, and when it comes, you can't run. That's what's that. And in the same way, ordinarily, life is free from problems. But if problems do come, you have to learn to face them. You can't run away. Problem can come from the Pancha Anatma. What are the Pancha Anatma? My body, my individuality. Okay, body, mind, sense complex is two Anatma there. So we'll take it as one Anatma. Me, from me. The next set of Anatma from where problems can come is my family, my people. Third, my position, my possession. So Panchanatma can be 4 anatmas. Me, my family, my people, my people, my possession. These are challenge means it's a problem for you. Others, four P's are challenge, you are not bothered. But if you are four P's are bothered, you are challenged. And the teacher says there is no running away. So sadhana is Shravana Manana Nididhyasana. What is the teaching there? The challenges you face in the four P's are called transactional reality. Agama, Apai, Anitya. You have to handle them. No escape. Then there is an awareful being who sees all that. The problems don't touch him. And the distance between the role and the role player is in the knowledge that I am the role player and not the role. You must never lose sight of this at any point of time. So it is initially done deliberately, and by the time you finish chapter 18, this becomes spontaneous. It's a background process runs to you. Okay, so sadhana dvayam was covered. Then he comes to ashrama dvayam. Ashrama dvayam we covered. Sadhana dvayam covered. Then we come to sannyasa dvayam. So sannyasa dvayam, it takes about what is called the sannyasa ashram. You know, the physical sannyasi. Because that is people have seen such people. The teacher says it's a ritualistic process. You don't decide to become a sannyasi. You have to initiated into a sannyasi. Just as you got initiated into grahastha by a ritualistic process, in the same way, you graduate to sannyasa by a ritualistic process. There is a homa done, there are havans performed, where you ritualistically give up all the Veda karmas that you have taken over. If you are a grahastha, you will be doing something called aupasanam. You will have to say hereafter, I will not do aupasanam. You would have, as a brahmachari, you would have taken up sandhya vandanam. You would say, I will hereafter not do sandhya vandanam. So all the ritualistic prayers you give up. Not just prayers, giving up, because a lot of us are very happy giving up all the day. I don't want to do Sandhya Vandanam, I don't want to do Shradham, but I want to go to work, give consultation over telephone and make money. Even that has to be given up in sannyasa. You can't have a sannyasi robe and say, I'm a consultant of law. No, nothing to do. You have to give up your lawyer's degree. If you are a music player, you should give up all that. You should give up your name. You should give up your relationships. Become somebody who has no attachment whatsoever with name, form, possessions, positions, labels, packages. You become totally free from all that. It can knock you on your between your eyes. You give up attachment to the security of bank balances and monthly income. You have to give up all that. It's a ritualistic process. Are you ready? Krishna says, if you are ready, you have to do that. There are people ready. They live off the charity of the world. There are people I know who will not cook. Who will not cook. They will say, I'm available for teaching. They teach so many people. From among them, they arrange and somebody serves them food. And somebody arranges a place for them to stay. But that doesn't mean the person should not make arrangements. He can close a foundation and say, all of you pay so much, I want to run an ashram. But that's not his main focus. So don't come and judge that this Swami is running an ashram, he is running a foundation, he has got 100 acres of land and he's got a website through which he sells a lot of things. He's in competition with all your, B2B and B2C platforms. He's not doing it for that purpose. He's doing it to sustain. Because once upon a time, there were kings. The state took care of such people. But now the state takes care of all other people other than such people. So therefore, that is not a problem really. We have to understand this carefully. It calls for a careful amount of, there's a ritualistic practice of going into sannyasa. Sannyasa, if you must really see, if you have ever gone or you should, please go and visit Rishikesh. There'll be a lot of sannyasis who will be living in camps and places like that, in huts, in makeshift living in some ashram. बस रात को सोने के लिए जगह चाहिए. It's okay as long as that too against the vagaries of the weather. He said, daytime में इधर उधर हम गुजार लेंगे. What do you do about food? Morning there will be one bhandara. Okay, bhandara. Some rich businessmen have started a bhandara. Every morning around a certain time, you go there. The bhandara will serve the sadhus 2 rotis and dal. Just 2 rotis and dal. The evening, dal and 2 rotis for 365 days a year. These people queue there, eat and come. What do you do if you want more? You go to stand in the queue in another bhandara. Over a period of time. And our Swamis have also lived such lives. And because our Swami was a teacher, he was not just who used to teach Vedanta, which required a different kind of preparation. He had to maintain a small, I wouldn't call it an establishment. He has to maintain a small infrastructure to keep his books, to write, and when students come in. So some of these, his Shishya Sannyasis used to time the cook and more rotis and cook it in the evening and give it to Swamiji. So they don't care about where the food comes from. Okay. And then if they have to travel, they travel by foot. And if they have to take a long distance, some of them take the risk of going by unreserved compartments without ticket. And the TTR will not penalize. It's Sadhu Baba, आपको मालूम नहीं है, ये ठीक नहीं है, गलती है. He will say, बेटा आप कर लो, हमको जो सजा देना है दे दो. He will say, what is the worst? You can put me in prison. डाल दो 3 दिन, फिर हम फिर चलेंगे. The person who is accepted this way, he said, yeah, I'm doing it. Punish me if you want. Yeah, you want me to get out of this train? I'll get out. I'll get into another train. Sometimes I've seen people in trains where a Sadhu Baba doesn't have ticket and the TTR is a little strict kind of person. Somebody says, अरे एक ticket दिलवा दीजिए ना हमको, I will pay for it. Unreserved में दिलवा दीजिए. It's a culture where everybody contributes. I contribute. What do I contribute? I'm not learned Vedas. I just live a lifestyle, a disciplined lifestyle. I don't own anything. I don't depend upon anyone. What do I contribute to your life? Why should you take care of it? I contribute confidence to your life. I contribute by my lifestyle. I can be independent of all these wants and yet be a free person, moving about the way I want. I contribute by my lifestyle that it is possible to be free from material wants. That's my big contribution. I don't lecture, but I live and show you. There is an ashram. I don't run the ashram. The ashram has come around. People who have had the good fortune in their lifestyle of seeing a saint from Kanchipuram who lived like that. An ashram came around. An establishment, a Brahmana Maharishi, a ashram came around him. He didn't form something. What did he live? Free lifestyle. Free in the sense not doing anything like this. Free being free from the sense of want, free from needing material possessions to run my grihasti. That's a sannyasa lifestyle. So there are sannyasis who are initiated into sannyasa at a certain point of time. And the sannyasi, he is initially called, a sannyasi who has been ritually ordained into sannyasa. He has to spend so many years in study. And after that, and under a guru, with a teacher, serving the guru, he goes out and gets bhiksha for himself and the teacher. Guru is his father, guru's wife is his mother. Sometimes the guru is a sannyasi, the guru is both the father and the mother, like Swami Dayananda Saraswati was for so many people. He hands over his life to Ishvara. He sees in Guru Ishvara. He hands over life to him and lives like that. At some point of time, the Guru says, you are now fit to go and teach. Find a way. He will not just abandon him. He will say, go to this place. They need teaching. Go stay there. There is one devotee who has come to me. Please go see him. Perhaps he will make some arrangements. And then any point of time, he says, you're not happy there, come back to me. The only security you have is Guru. And Guru stands for Ishvara. The only representative of Ishvara in this world for you is Guru. We fall back on the Guru and nothing else. That is a sannyasa lifestyle. He says this Vidivat sannyasi, this ritualistic sannyasi, can give up karma. He can give. But a grahastha cannot give up karma. If you want to give up karma, you have to religiously be initiated into sannyasa lifestyle. Then you can give up karma. And who will decide that? Only the Guru can decide. And if a grahastha has to move into sannyasa, you have to take the permission of the spouse and the family. If the parents are there, you have to take blessings of the parents. Particularly the mother. The mother has to say, yes, go ahead and take sannyasa. You guys are not running away that I disappear in one fine morning, come back with a dadi, kamandalu. That is not something. You have to ritually say, I'm going to this ashrama. I'm going to study. They were very nice people I met when I was in Kolkata long back. And the lady was saying, that my son has gone away and joined some ashram. I said, what ashram? Pata nahi, some ashram he has joined. When I asked her, do you have regret that he has taken up the life of a sannyasi? The reply was beautiful, My Guruji was also present there. My teacher was present. Who is a sannyasi? She said, nay, if that person became a sannyasi and become like Swamiji, I have no problem at all. Look at the value they had for Swamiji. Pata nahi kahan gaya hai. So you have to take the permission and then become a Vidivat sannyasi. Then you are allowed to give up action. You can't do, what do you call, this Ardha Anda Nyaya. Half egg I will eat, half an egg I will keep for hatching. You can't, that's called Ardha Anda. You can't do that. You can't say, I will selectively do karma, I will selectively give up karma. No, that's not allowed. Once you are clear about your karma, sannyasi's role, an establishment comes around. What for? For sustaining study and be socially relevant. People have seen what other institutions do. Because you have set up an ashram in a village or some place. What is the social relevance you can do? These days, people set up a hospital and a school. It is not necessary. People want to set up a hostel and a school and collect funds. I am setting up an engineering college. What do you want an engineering college? That doesn't make sense. Yeah. But if you can be relevant to the society, your ashram should be relevant. What relevance can you bring in the society? Can you teach people the value of living a clean life? Saucham, antas saucham, bahya saucham. Can you teach them the value of living an arogya, healthy lifestyle? Can you teach them something about living in peace, happily with each other? There will be differences. Why are you fighting? Can they contribute to environmental well-being? Can they contribute to preserving temples and things like that? Can you do that? There's a lot of things can be done. You don't have to set up a hospital and education institution wherever. Can you empower them to earn a living? Empower. Become independent. Economic empowerment. Can you do? So many things possible. So such a person lives a sannyasi lifestyle. Now what happens to this person? Jnanam is not a result of action. Jnanam is a result of study and owning up. If you prepare jnana yogyata by living a Vidivat sannyasi lifestyle. You prepare for jnana yogyata by living a grahastha lifestyle. Each of these lives independently jnana is possible. And when do you know jnana happens? You know. But it is not a process of accidental discovery. Shravana Manana is to be followed by Nididhyasana. And Nididhyasana involves Dhyanam. Dhyanam is a process of Nididhyasana. So towards the end of chapter 5, Krishna leads you to chapter 6. In chapter 5, he says, you don't give up action, but you understand as a role player, you don't do actions. The roles have necessarily got to do actions, and the actions have to conform to the script. That is Ishvara Arpana Buddhi, Ishvara Prasada Buddhi, frees you from conflicts, frees you from the sense of having to prove yourself and validate and get acknowledgement from people, frees you to a large extent from this. And then Shravana and Manana is to be followed by Nididhyasana. In Nididhyasana, you don't learn anything new. You don't go for an experience. In Nididhyasana, what you have learned and reflected is assimilated. It is deliberately pushed into the system. It takes time. There are processes. You deliberately push into the system. You give up action, not by giving up action, but knowing that as a role player, you don't do any action. That is called antaranga sadhana. Antara sannyasi. You're a sannyasi in the mind. There is no drive. There is no desire in you for getting worldly acknowledgement and approvals and validations for what you do. Yes, it is expected I do, therefore I do. People appreciate बहुत अच्छी बात है, but I don't hanker for labels. If they come, fine, Ishvara Prasad. If they don't come, Ishvara Prasad. You grow into a mature person, and this mature person is ready for jnanam. And the process of assimilating jnanam is called Nididhyasana. That forms chapter 6 of the Bhagavad Gita. It is called Dhyana Yoga or Atma Sanyama Yoga. These are the two names given. And with the end of 6 chapters, we end what is called Prathama Shatakam. Prathama Shatakam means Jiva Swarupa is made known. Then they will take you to Ishvara Swarupa. One important section of study is completed. It's with great good fortune. Punya karma alone can bring us this far. That's why I put in the group today. Unless you have punya karma, you can't complete even one chapter. You will do some chaptering and group will disappear. And that we have been able to do is punya karma of not only of the people who have been attending, people who have been listening to our tapes, and people who are empowering us and giving us the infrastructure to do all this. It's only punya karma. That's what brings you so far. So with this, we end chapter 5. And with the blessing of Sri Krishna, Guru, and our own punya karma, we'll start the new year with chapter 6. May Krishna be in your lives. May you be able to continue. We are now completing with today 90 talks of 1 hour, 90 hours of study. It's not a joke. It's your punya, my punya, Guru's blessings, Ishvara, Anugraha. 90 hours is no joke. And all these are available for you to play back. So may Krishna be in your lives. May Bhagavad Gita come into our lives. We will meet Friday next with introduction to chapter 6. I'll introduce chapter 6 to you and then go into chapter 6. Om Swasti Prajabhyat Paripalayantam Nyayena margena mahim mahisha gobrahmanebhya shubhamastu nityam loka samstha sukhino bhavantu kali varshatu parjanyah prithvi sasya shalinim desho yam shobharahitah brahmana santu nirbhaya sarve bhavantu sukhina सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतङ्गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति 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 हरिः ॐ सद्गुरुभ्यो नमः स्वामी दयानंद सरस्वती महाराज की जय सब संतों की जय पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय I just want to make an announcement to the people present and through you to all your friends. I had a sankalpa just last week. It just flashed as a vision that this thought sharing on the Gita, what does it do to you? I said, I'm a pleased person inside. And in one of the forums, somebody asked me, what is it that you want to do for 2023? And I'm a pleased person. And by mere presence, I want to make others a pleased person, just by mere presence. I said, you touch me, you will become 100 times happier. So it had in a just a statement like that. And something appealed to me. There's a word called rishta for relationships. Really ordinary relationships, no? During good times is called rishta. When relationship is during good and bad times, and for discovering the pleased person in ourselves, that relationship is farishta. It is Ishvara's Rupa himself. So a thought came to me that I'll form a global foundation calling Gita Vision Foundation worldwide. Let's see what kind of shape it takes. My objective is not raise a money, big houses or big ashram and run us something there, nothing like that. But yeah, facilitating study worldwide. Make this available, maybe create a website. People who know how to create a website can perhaps put together their intelligence and have a website. And in the website, these talks can be available. We can have bhajans there, songs, downloadable literature, so many things can be there. Stories can be there, Bhagavata stories, Bhakti stories can be there. This is my vision. During this BMS has a certain lifespan, come what it has a lifespan. The lifespan is not decided by you. The lifespan is decided by your prarabdha karma plus Ishvara. And during this lifespan, I've lived a good life as an individual. Now, at an important crossroads of life, if I can contribute to a few more people's being happy, not by physical donations, but by helping discover the happy person in you. If you discover the happy person in you, there is a question of strife. That's my objective. I'll come with more plans for this. And I would request your support in whatever way possible. Spread the message, bring more people into our fold, not for conversion. Only one objective. Come here, discover the pleased person. Come here, discover the pleased person. You don't want us to do anything for me. Just discover the pleased person in you. You will do for others. So have a wonderful year end. Nothing ends for us. Our study continues. Year end is just a date. May Ishvara give us the buddhi to be able to assimilate and live that knowledge. Abide in reality and be alive to transaction. Om, Om, Om.